Walter Curry and the boys out there cooking. Walter for three. Bang! Tie game. Boy, oh boy. I was sweating. Woo, boy, was sweating. But I love it. I love it. We're going to talk all about it. Good to see you. Happy Sunday, everybody. It feels like we're in football season. I don't know. It just feels good, baby. It feels good. The sun's out. Got a little crispy sunburn on the face. Hair's flowing. Feels good outside. The sunshine's still out. And we're vibing. It's a good time of year. March is my favorite. Always my favorite time of year. But this one's obviously a little bit different. I love me some March Madness. It loses its aura, right? As the weeks go on, they get a little dragged out. And you're like, I really don't care. No more crazy upsets. But this year, we got a little cheddar involved, boys. We got a little juicy juice involved with these Florida boys. And by golly, you want to talk about juice. Listen, let's talk about it. All right? I was in shambles. First half tied game. We've been talking all season long. Gators 29-0 when they're leading the half. We were tied. I don't know what the record was when we were tied going in the half. I didn't have any juju, but I was fine. And then the boys kind of just, UConn just got ahead and kind of never lost it. And I was like, you're running out of time, boys. And something has to happen. I didn't want to panic because I felt the entire time ago, we are the better basketball team. No question. Depth, guards, talent, like it's not even close. But everybody knows it's the UConn. It's a two-time defending national champion. You've got just douchebag Magoo over there and Coach Hurley. That we're gonna get into that. But great coach outside of just being the most obnoxious prick ever known to man. And I'll have a whole rant on that here in just a minute. But it's a lot of pressure. Young coach like Todd Golden. I wouldn't say a young team, but the team, you get knocked out first round. This is uncharted territories going into this. Going up against not necessarily a team, but a coach, a logo that has a ton of presence recently. It carries a lot going into these tournaments. And look, I said this all year long. You got to make free throws. You got to do things the right way because if a team feels like they're confident enough to beat you going into this tournament, there isn't much time. And that's exactly what I believe UConn and Coach Hurley would be able to do. For the fact that the boys dialed it in, dialed it up, and just stayed focused, stayed to the task, never really got too wobbly. I mean, absolutely much credit to Coach Golden and to the boys. Look, a lot of turnovers, ton of turnovers. That's something we've had all year long, though. And I'm not making excuses for it, but I believe the way that Walter plays, very fluid, very relaxed. It's just because he doesn't think, it's just very natural. There's one of great movies. I can't think of what it's called right now. It's a biking movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he doesn't put brakes on his bike because he doesn't believe in hesitating. You got to just go. And I love that mindset because everyone else is worried about stopping. Like, am I going to get hit? Who's going to hit me or whatnot? And I think that's how Walter plays. He's riding the bike with no brakes. He's like, I'm not going to hesitate. And sometimes when you're riding with no brakes, you're gonna wreck, okay? And so you take the good with the bad, and I feel like the way that he plays, the big three that he hit, that three, him pulling that shot and having the confidence to hit that shot, we take the turnovers. Does that make sense? Because to have the cojones to just pick up the dribble with, like, literally the life's on the line here, okay? Falling over, off kilt, I mean, from the arc, and hit that thing. When he shot, I go, there's no shot this goes in. It didn't look in. It didn't look in. But by golly, was it in, okay? It was in, and all of a sudden, bam! Lightning struck, and the boys figured out, oh, we're the Florida Gators. Let's dial this shit in real quick, and let's get it done. Man, what a game. What a game. It was the only game 3 weeks ago, a month ago, we're looking at the seeding, and I go, as long as UConn does not get our number 9 seed, I'll be good. We get early predictions. We're getting Maryland at number 9. We're getting someone else at number 9. Wasn't UConn. I go, okay. Again, second game, the first weekend. You know what I mean? It's a scary game. I didn't want UConn. Comes out, it's UConn. it was never going to be Oklahoma. Like, it was never going to be Oklahoma. So I go, listen, this is it. Got to be the best to be the best. And I love it. I love it. I'm glad that we got the game. That part makes me excited. And look, a lot of things were answered. I know when my boy Calaburbia, he was talking nonsense, but he was kind of felt that Florida was going in on a massive high, as they were. And it's like, man, you're kind of a little worried they haven't been checked in a while. This was a check. This was the perfect check that you can get. Obviously, we saw, I don't know if you guys saw this, but from the Norfolk game, they kind of had a massive, just kind of a sloppy end to the first half. There's the clip of the broken whiteboard coming out from Todd Golden smashing whiteboards. It was just frustration. The guy's playing too lackadaisical, blah, 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 blah. I don't think that was a true gut punch. This was a true, nice, healthy awakening for this team to carry on. Like, you are the better team here. But this team gave you everything they had. And they didn't play perfect. They left a lot on the line, too, I felt. But, man. And now we've got Maryland, Colorado State. Look, I like the way that we match up for either of those teams. St. John's goes down. They were the number 2 team in the country. I was truly never concerned about St. John's. I know a lot of people were high on St. John's. I picked Texas Tech to beat St. John's in my own bracket. Just because I wasn't believing in the hype. I wanted to pick Arkansas. Should have, but I didn't. I believed too much of the hype. But boy, what a game. What a game. And it's when it's over and done with. Like, I love those kind of games. Reason I wasn't live was that my best buddy's his son's first birthday. Probably the only first birthday that I would miss this game for outside of my son's first birthday. So he has 7 videos of me going absolutely berserk at this 1-year-old's birthday party. Nobody else at the party cared about this game. I showed up and I go, "What's up, bro? We ain't got the game on?" He's like, "No, nobody cares at all." And he didn't even realize the Gator game was on. He's not a big Gator guy. And then he goes, "Oh crap, it's the Gator game." So he gave me the pass, and I'm sitting in the corner by myself, screaming at my cell phone. I had to turn on. Y'all know what's up here. I don't like to know what's happening. Like, I don't like to get alerts. And I'm watching the game, and I get an alert that Florida takes a lead right at that 63, 62 mark. And I was like, "Why is CBS alerting me of this?" And I go, "That's it. I'm done. I'm down. That's not going to happen." So I turned off Do Not Disturb. I was like, I'm not hearing anything from nobody. Like, I am going cold. I don't want to be delayed, what have you. So I went MIA for about 30 minutes in no man's land watching this game. And they made it dicey at the end with the fouls and then the turnovers. And by golly, they stressed us out for sure. Kentucky is absolutely steamrolling Illinois as I thought they would. Houston handled Gonzaga last night. They've got Purdue coming up here, right? Yeah, they've got Purdue. So that should be good. And yeah, brackets coming out. Going up like I thought it would. I had BYU going against Alabama, Duke, Alabama. My Elite Eight was Auburn, Michigan State, Texas Tech, Florida. I had Clemson. Going a whole hell of a long way, and they didn't make it. But man, that was more stressful than I probably would have liked. I was in shambles. Listen, this Coach Hurley guy, I can't stand this guy. I want to say I liked him. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember him being this douchey. I remember the first year of UCONN and even going into the second year of UCONN, I thought he was kind of just like a nice, chill dude. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I had this guy, maybe it's like that weird effect, right? That you see it one way, but it was actually another way. I thought he was a reasonably good dude. Tapping out? Oh. Night, dude. Night, buddy. Baseball? I thought he was a reasonably good dude. I don't know if the wind just got to his head. I saw clips this year of him kind of being an a-hole from time to time, talking about how he was yelling at a ref, "I'm the best coach ever. I'm the greatest." And I didn't mind it. I kind of liked a little bit of the swagger, but it is gross. That there is not enough people around him telling him, "Hey, you need to shut the F up. You are an obnoxious, over-the-top prick. You've won twice. That's awesome. That's great. Like, you get your flowers." Tom Brady's got 7 of them. He's never acted like your ass. Bill Jackson's got a plethora of them. He's never acted like your ass. Coach, what's his name? Man, I'm slipping on the names here. One of my favorite Coach Spurs coach. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Popovich, Coach Pop. A plethora of them. Never act. Now, again, March Madness, championships, you know what I'm talking about. The guy is a douche. And somebody needs to tell him, like, look, I don't mind your energy. I don't mind your passion. He's crying at the end of the game. I don't know, you mind that. But when you act like such an egregious, bro, every time the camera clipped to him, I was like, I just want to punch this guy. Like the most punchable face I've ever seen from a coach. Look, I don't mean, and look, Todd Golden, I mean, he's not like, he can be a little annoying at times too, but to be fair, I feel like all the great coaches got a weird little thing about him. Rick Pitino, I love Rick, but he's got a little tick that kind of makes people feel he's kind of icky. You know what I mean? Calipari, great coach. He's got an ick about him. Like, it's just, you can't really figure it out, but they're quirky, right? Izzo, quirky, okay? Like, it's just, the great ones are quirky. I don't know what it is, but I think there's like a nice dose. Someone needs to dose Hurley down a little bit. And maybe it was time for old Toddy Gotti to get it done. Portal got how to put him in his place. So, off to the Sweet 16, though. You got to love it. Meanwhile, Duke skates through. Look, Duke's got plenty of fish they got to fry. I'm not worried about anybody else in this tournament. I don't care who they're playing, what they're doing. None of that stuff. That means nothing to me. That means nothing to me. People hated Spurrier. I mean, look, Spurrier, Corky, I don't feel like it was that bad. Maybe I'm wrong because I was on my side, but I feel like Spurrier was, yes, he had a swagger about him. He would talk a smack, but he'd also take it on the chin very well. Like, I'm okay with people hating them. Like, people hate Calipari, people hate Rick Pitino. Like, that's fine with me. Like, I think if you're good and you're great, you're gonna have hate. Like, that comes with the territory. I just don't think there's anybody that likes Coach Hurley. Like, there's no way you could like that guy. Like, that, it's just brutal. And I don't like to hate on, like I said, I think I was supportive of this guy 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember back to 2019 and 2021, Sheldon. I don't know. It's been such a long time. I'm a dad now. Who knows? I don't have no clue. A lot of things have come around and gone around. You know what I'm saying? I didn't miss the super chat off the rip here. From D. Says $2. I said it's great to be a Florida Gator. I love it. I love the energy. And we've got West Day. Go Gators. Adversity for the win. Hit that like button. I bet UConn fans love Hurley like we loved Billy and Steve. I'm sure they do. Look, you have to. When it's your coach, you have to. So, I get it. But I think we can all agree he's a douche. Anyways, he's done. He's out. No, he was complaining leaving the court about the refs. The refs have been, I don't know how to say it. It's been brutal, I think, on all games. I don't think it's one-sided or anything like that. It's just been gross calling. But we'll see. I'm thinking it's going to be an all one seed Final Four, to be honest with you. Maybe a 2 sweet squeaks in somewhere. But it feels that way, man. It really does. It really feels that way. And I saw a thing today. Like, it's a good point. NIL has really kind of taken the Cinderellas out of it, because all those guys, I think about like an Elijah Mart who played for that. I think it was that Florida golf team, and Walter who played for Iona. Like, guys that they would go to these schools, they'd be there for a couple of years, and when they would have these runs, these Cinderella stories, it was because you've had like that San Diego State team when they were at 5 seed and they went on a run, went to the Final Four. That was a team of like 7 seniors. Like, San Diego State was only there for that. Like, that was it. That was their end all be all. And so you would have like an all freshman team of Kentucky with just a bunch of just studs, like more talent than someone in one person's pinky toe, right? But these other teams like San Diego State's that had this cohesion for the last 3 to 4 years that they built in, that could beat just a raw talented team that Calipari had put together over the last decade. So, it's also changed too, because I think now everyone is much, much better. So it's going back to the coaching, because I think Calipari and some of these guys kind of just lived with the fact they recruit big-time guys and could just run through with the talent, but then would lose it when it counted. And sometimes they get hot and find a little bit of a rhythm if they could get the cohesion correctly. But yeah, I think we're going to, and we saw it this year, there wasn't too many upsets. The Colorado State over Memphis, I know it was a 12-5, but Colorado State was favored going into that game. McNeese over Clemson was massive. That was a big win on that one. New Mexico, 10 over 7. I don't really count those as upsets. 8 and 9, I don't count those either. But I mean, outside of that, again, it hasn't been too messy. You had 2-7, 3-6, 4-12, 8-1. That was in the bottom Midwest bracket. All clean except McNeese one. All favors. You had number 2, St. John's, number 10, Arkansas, again, 10-7. I don't count that as a true upset. You had 11-6. I would say Drake over Mizzou was a good one. Texas Tech won. Maryland wins. Memphis obviously loses, but again, you could argue that wasn't a true upset given how Vegas looked at it. UConn beats Oklahoma. That's 8 over 9. Michigan State, New Mexico, 10 over 7. We're not counting those. We said that. Iowa State wins. Ole Miss wins. A&M wins. Michigan wins. Auburn wins. Now, that Michigan game was a little bit close. All favorites. Well, Creighton beat Louisville. 8-9 doesn't count. Baylor beat Mississippi State. 8-9 doesn't count. That's just a pick'em game. And then Vanderbilt beat, So, not too many upsets. Now, BYU did beat Wisconsin, but that BYU team's a really good 6-3 team. I think once you kind of get into that 5-4, 6-3, 7-2s, like, I think 6-3, 5-4 is a pick'em, as it should be, right? Your 8-1s and 9-1s and 7-2s and 10-2s, those games are probably still be pretty lopsided, but you get 6-3s, 4-5-4s, we're pick'em games. And BYU, again, another close one there, came down to the wire. So we'll see. I mean, kind of to each his own, but I definitely feel like we're losing a little. I mean, there's been years too. We've had no 14 seeds, no 15s, and no 16s. Now 16's rare, but usually a 14 squeaks, maybe a 15 pops. Who knows? We'll see. The only 15 2 seed that was close was that Bama one. Golden is doing it with 3 stars and a couple of low 4-star players. Chemistry as a coaching thing. I agree, but look, these guys that were, again, low stars got time to develop, right? And then become these superstars. He kind of took what I just said and combined it. Got some stars that he recruited, but then took guys like from smaller schools and was able to plug and play. And yes, created a chemistry. I think it's going back to good coaching, which is also exciting and fun. So look, I'm not complaining about it. It's just interesting watching the ebbs and flows and how the game is changing and from an NIL perspective. I don't hate it. It's just an observation more than anything. I'm not complaining about it, but man, what a run! Next Thursday is the slate. We'll be live for that one. Now, here, real quick though, quick thing. Huge shout out. We had the live stream Friday at Best Bet. Huge shout out to Best Bet. Those guys are incredible. Every time that we go there, their hospitality is through the roof. Incredible place to watch anything. Like if you're here in St. Augustine, like to go watch a game, to go watch horse and dog racing, which we got into, which was amazing. Obviously, Kentucky Derby's coming up. I think it's going to be absolutely berserk there. Watching the game there was one of the coolest things I've ever had. Or watching March Madness there was an absolute dream. And then the guys that showed up. Rookie was there from sun up to sundown. Got there at the very beginning. Shout out Rookie. Drove from Ocala. But it was dozing out on the stream because it's a long day. But shout out to him. Been a fan of the show. Can't thank him enough for coming out there. Tyler, obviously, for riding with us as well. And then a huge shout out to Sean. Sean showed up in overalls, him and his wife, and he showed up for the Gator game. That was cool as hell. Look over and you see a lookalike in the overalls. That was fun. And then Kenny, I believe was his name, from Palm Coast. He was there hanging out with us, having a good time. He was betting alongside. He was being a true ride or die there. Outside Rookie who was quietly betting. We won't get into that. But man, what a time. And the people, Gator Boy, guys who were watching the stream, Kala, I think, Kara, people donating through that. That was an awesome day. It would be it's going to go down as one of my most favorite days on the show, because I've always loved March Madness, and get to be able to do that was awesome. Now, with that all being said, I don't like to get ahead of things, but we have to. April 7th is the national championships on a Monday. I've already reached out to Best Bet. Said, hey, can we do this again? So if things go well, again, I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse, but we have to prepare to plan these things. I'm hoping to have a massive watch party there at Best Bet on Monday night. So it'll be fun. About to go to bed, but man, I'm sorry for my wife. She saw all my emotions come out during that Gator game. Yeah, age 5 years. Dude, that was no joke, Muddy. That was a hard one to watch because This is the first time, as long as I can remember, that Florida is, is what they are, and there's a lot of pressure to win, and we as fans talk a lot of smack, myself included, and it's just like, please just let us. Just give me one more weekend. You're just praying, give me one more weekend, Yeah, it was an emotional span there for a couple of hours, but all in all, feels good to be here now. What it does for the dopamine hit. All right, endorphins. It feels really good. Feels really good when it goes your way, boys. Well, listen here. Great little Sunday show. We'll be here live tomorrow at 8:05 with the man, champ, Stephen Harris. So, should be a good one, boys. Smash the like button, subscribe. Coop says, I almost cried after I win. It was a nice woo-saw moment. You know what I mean? BYU looking dangerous, too. Arkansas and Kentucky surprised me. Thank you, Arkansas, for upsetting St. John's for us. Hopefully, Colorado State upsets Maryland. Look, I mean, I get the whole idea. You think, they're 10 and 12 seeds, but those teams are upsetting teams. That means they're hot and they're feeling confident. So at this point, I feel like all these teams that are left outside of, I still think Florida stands out. I think a Duke-Florida matchup is going to be a good one. Look, Florida-Auburn, playing them again. And if you see these teams a couple times, in a year, that gets a little sketchy. Florida-Tennessee matchup, you know what I mean? Yeah, you could see. I fist bump and about knocked my wife out. I liked it. I almost cried during the game. I almost cried during, after, before, all the good stuff. Well, boys, y'all be good. Have a happy Sunday. Get some rest. We're going to need it. Thursday, we get another tip-off. We'll be doing a live stream. It might be at 7 o'clock, 7:30, or 10:09 is the time slots that we're looking at right now. Could be Maryland. Could be Colorado State. We'll find that out later on today, boys and girls. But have some fun. Get some rest. Y'all be good. I love you as always. Peace and love, baby.